The lost and found clerk of the Knight's Order. The reincarnated knight in the window seat department secretly dominates again today. Book release January 25. Ryuichi Suzuki. Case 1. The Witch Forest, Episode 1. The Knight Without a Sword. When I think back on it, my life has been a continuous chain of hardships.
I just want to get a random job and live peacefully.
That small wish had been with me since childhood. But back then, I had no idea how difficult it is to live peacefully in this world. When job hunting began, that was when I first realized it. I had nothing. No dreams, no hopes, no vision for the future. I had simply drifted through time. And before I knew it, I had become an adult. The only companies willing to hire someone like that were the pitch-black ones that were always short on staff. Even in workplaces that openly defied labor standards, they gathered people in situations similar to mine, forcing unpaid overtime and weekend work. On top of that, the pay was terrible. How many times had I been able to truly rest without thinking about work? Probably only a handful. Anyway, worn down in both body and mind in such a miserable environment, I died. One day, without warning, I died easily in a traffic accident.
I want a stable job. One where I do not have to fear bankruptcy, no horrible boss, and a decent salary.
I remembered all of this while heading to the guild to make my debut as an adventurer. I tripped on a stone, fell spectacularly, and slammed my head. The impact must have restored the memories of my previous life. I sorted through the mixed memories and tried to grasp my current situation. My current name is Reiji Springriver, almost the same as my previous name, but my circumstances are very different. I was alone in the world and had been living and working at an inn in the royal capital. When it went bankrupt, I searched for another job but could not find one. With no knowledge or experience, I was about to become an adventurer, since anyone could become one to earn living expenses. Unbelievable. Even after reincarnation, I am troubled by work. On top of that, adventurers live alongside danger and cannot earn stable income unless they are extremely capable. It is exactly the same situation as my previous life. I can still redo this. This is not my path. Turning my back on the guild in front of me, I headed toward the Knight's Order headquarters. That is right. In this world, I decided to live as a knight and came to receive information about the entrance exam. The Knight's Order is basically civil service. Its performance is not affected by the economy, and you are rarely fired. The salary is stable too. But is it not just as dangerous as being an adventurer? I have considered that carefully. If things go well, I might be able to serve until retirement without getting too involved with others. This is my only bet. According to the guidelines, the exam can be taken from age 18, so I had 3 years left. Until then, I would find live in work and focus on training and studying. 3 years passed. It turned out I had a natural talent for swordsmanship. As part of my training, I went to nearby farming villages to hunt weak monsters and received crops in return, living like a bodyguard. Thanks to that, I had more free time than a normal job and, more importantly, built connections with people. That made me happy. Then came my first entrance exam. Both the practical and written portions went well, and I received my acceptance notice. I officially became a knight. The written test was easier than expected. Compared to the monsters I fought to protect the villages, the other applicants were weaker in both power and speed, so they were easy to defeat. Still, if I scored too high, I might be sent to a busy department with high expectations, so I held back a little in both. My goal was administrative work that does not go to the front lines. In particular, I had a department in mind. The Lindley Kingdom Knight's Order Lost Property Management Division. In other words, the lost and found. For example, someone might say, I left my handkerchief in the carriage, or I dropped the novel I was reading at the battlefield during an expedition. It is a department created for non-combat reasons, basically for things that are convenient to have. Also, during monster subjugation missions, if knights are forced to retreat urgently and must leave weapons or armor behind, this division later visits the site to recover the abandoned equipment. In a sense, it is like occasional business trips. You can work at a relaxed pace while also seeing various places in this other world. Since it seems like a job anyone could do, the division is usually staffed by veterans close to retirement, those with bad conduct, or those who performed poorly in combat training. In other words, the so-called useless group. Rumor had it that it was a dumping ground for underachievers. Those assigned there were said to apply for voluntary resignation within a few months. It was a classic window seat department. That is why those assigned there were mocked as the knight without a sword. Well, it is rare for someone to join the knight's order and request such miscellaneous work from the start. The leadership probably wanted young people who could be combat assets, but there happened to be a vacancy to fill, and since I had not stood out in the exam, my assignment was quickly decided. Several years after joining, the knight's order mornings are early. Living in the dorms means I do not have complete freedom before work, but the regular lifestyle and cafeteria are great for health. The meal cost is deducted from salary, but it is cheap. After getting ready, the young knights head out for expeditions or royal capital security. I, on the other hand, walk in the opposite direction. The first place I visit after entering the red brick headquarters is the reception desk to confirm the day's work.
Morning. Good morning, Reiji.
The one who greeted me energetically was my junior knight, Sandra Carries. She is 1 year younger than me and voluntarily chose this reception job, just like I did. An internal position.
Got anything today? Yes. Captain Alex of the 5th Unit stopped by earlier. During a mission to subjugate a group of orcs that appeared in the forest near the Rhodius Plateau, they prioritized treating the severely wounded and had to leave 4 carriages behind. I have marked the exact location on this map. Thanks. That helps. Please be careful. I have heard bandits have been appearing around that area lately. Got it. I am off.
After telling Sandra, I left the headquarters and moved to another building on the same grounds. Much older and smaller than the main building, that is my workplace, the Lost Property Office. Inside, a middle-aged man was reading the newspaper carefully. Section Chief Simmons, my superior and the head of this office. Chief, I'm heading out. He gave a relaxed reply. Close to retirement, he avoids trouble and lacks motivation. A few years ago, he injured his right arm and could no longer function as a knight. Rather than quit before receiving retirement pay, he transferred here. He is similar to me. No excessive interference or unreasonable demands. As an equally unmotivated subordinate, he is the ideal boss. With reporting done, I prepared to start work. After arriving at the forest marked on the map, I found the 4 abandoned carriages exactly where described. Inside were 6 swords, 4 pieces of armor, and about 10 healing items such as medicinal herbs. All reusable. For cost saving, we should reuse what we can. Good thing bandits did not steal them first. Hey, hold it. So it was not that simple. There are always people like this. They scavenge weapons and armor left behind after emergency retreats and sell them. Like disaster looters. My job is to reach the site before them and recover the items, but sometimes we run into each other. That is our prey. Leave what you collected and get lost. No crest. The bearded leader pointed his massive sword at me. I am wearing a Knight's Order uniform, but since I am not carrying a visible weapon, he is not intimidated. And then there is the no crest part. Frontline knights wear uniforms with the Order crest. Those without it are non-combat staff, essential to the organization, but sometimes looked down upon. Did you not hear me? Or are you going to fight the 7 of us alone? 7? You mean just you? What? The leader turned around and his face twisted in shock. His men were all unconscious on the ground. What the hell happened? No need to know. You will join them soon. He swung his sword recklessly in desperation, but movements fueled by anger are easy to read.
I dodged lightly and used the same method as before to take his consciousness.
Gah! His large build made it harder to knock him out in one hit, but he endured only briefly.
Impossible. You do not even have a sword. Why can my blade not reach you? Not have a sword? You just could not see it.
As soon as I said that, his eyes widened in realization. Then he collapsed.
Honestly, making extra work for me. I will have to contact the knights stationed in this territory to take them in.
There was rope in one of the carriages, so I tied them to trees and left. That concludes today's duties. I think I will take a small detour before heading back. Right after Reiji left the reception desk.
Still, he really goes all out, does he not?
Is it not normal to want to go to the front lines and fight hard after joining the Knight's Order? But his work has a good reputation with the higher-ups. The other day, Captain Radial of the 1st Unit praised how fast he worked. It has been a problem for a while that spare weapons and armor, mostly unused, ended up in bandits' hands and were sold off. Apparently, that issue has now been almost completely resolved. It is thanks to his efforts. Even the accounting staff are happy because it means they can allocate the replenishment budget elsewhere.
He is appreciated in many places, is he not?
Rather than a typical knight who goes to the front lines and defeats enemies, Reiji was seen as the type who supports his comrades from behind the scenes. Of course, some look down on him as someone who cannot fight, but there are many situations where his absence would cause trouble, and since captains evaluate him highly, very few openly speak badly of him. The three were chatting excitedly about Reiji when a woman approached the reception desk.
Excuse me.
A dignified voice reached the counter. When Sandra and the others turned around, they saw a young woman in a Knight's Order uniform, short red hair and sharp eyes.
Is something wrong? No, I am sorry. It is nothing. How may I help you?
The female knight looked around. After confirming the person she sought was not there, she said,
I am looking for someone. A man named Reiji Springriver, from the Lost Property Management Division.
What?
I was told he comes here first thing in the morning to confirm his duties. I wish to meet him at least once.
That is unfortunate. He just left to handle a new assignment.
I see. Understood. Then I will come again another day. With that, the female knight bowed deeply and left. Whoa! That surprised me. She must be the rumored young lady.
A young lady?
Huh? You did not know, Sandra? That beautiful red-haired woman is the beloved daughter of the head of the Eisenberg family. Her name is Ernesta Eisenberg.
Eisenberg.
Yes, she is the daughter of Gordon Eisenberg, the commander of the Knight's Order.
On top of that, she is extremely skilled. Not only was she assigned to the elite first unit, but she is also said to be participating in the mission to guard the foreign minister visiting a neighboring country for treaty revisions. Anyone living in the Lindley Kingdom would know the name Eisenberg. It is a prestigious family that has held important positions in the Knight's Order for generations, and Ernesta in particular is said to be the strongest genius in history.
Still, why would such a young lady be looking for Reiji Springriver?
It felt like there was some special reason.
Could it be something related to a romantic relationship? No, that cannot be it. I heard Ernesta Eisenberg receives marriage proposals from nobles. There is no way she would date someone like him, who is probably the least connected person in the Knight's Order.
Millie sighed, reaching her own conclusion. After Ernesta left, the three returned to their usual duties. Only Sandra remained with complicated feelings.
What did she want with Reiji?
Sandra kept thinking about that and could barely focus on her work that day. Episode 3, Work Report. The first place I visit after returning from work is the Knight's Order warehouse. The items recovered from the forest near the Rhodius Plateau are sorted here into weapons and armor for storage. Of course, their condition is carefully inspected, and if there are no issues, they are reused. I leave the sorting work to the staff in charge and head to the office of Captain Alex of the 5th Unit to report that the recovery mission has been completed without incident and that the items were nearly stolen by bandits.
This is the list of the weapons and armor we recovered.
Oh, that helps a lot.
And Captain Alex, were you perhaps looking for this?
Huh.
I hand him a small hemp pouch that had fallen near the wagon. Inside it was a neatly folded sheet of paper.
This is an important good luck charm to me.
What kind of effect does it have?
No, it is not a magic item or anything like that. Recently, my daughter has been studying reading and writing with my wife, and she wrote me an encouraging message.
I see. Then you absolutely cannot lose it.
Exactly. I kept it safely in my chest pocket, but when I came back, the button had been torn off. It must have fallen out during combat. I have been thinking about how to apologize to my daughter. I could barely focus on my duties.
That is reassuring, because someone like you is here. We can fight to our fullest.
I am glad to hear you say that.
Captain Alex is a promising officer who has drawn attention even from the current commander of the Knight's Order. The fact that he holds the rank of captain at only 30 years old shows how highly he is regarded. Even so, he never acts arrogant and treats even a low-ranking knight like me with courtesy, so he is widely respected. In a different way from Director Simmons of the Lost Property Management Office, he can be called an ideal superior.
So we recovered everything again this time. Ever since you became responsible for lost property management, the recovery rate has truly increased. Before, we were satisfied if even half remained. It was just luck. I was fortunate.
In reality, I use certain small items to efficiently recover and transport the weapons. But if I told him that, he would probably order me to apply it on the front lines, which would make me even busier, so I keep quiet. After finishing my report, I am about to return to my usual workplace, the Lost Property Management Office, when I am suddenly stopped.
Oh, right. There was one more thing I wanted to confirm.
What is it?
Do you know Ernesta Eisenberg?
I feel like I have heard the name before, but maybe not.
At least I cannot picture her face. But I do recall hearing the name somewhere. As I fold my arms and search my memory, Captain Alex smiles wryly and speaks.
If you do not know, that is fine. Sorry for stopping you.
No, not at all. Actually, it is right on the tip of my tongue.
Do not worry about it. In fact, it is better that way.
It sounds strange to say that it is better not to know, but if Captain Alex is satisfied with that, there is no need to pursue it further.
Then, excuse me.
Good work. Let me know if anything happens. I trust you.
It is an honor.
After bowing, I leave the office and head toward the management office. But I cannot help thinking about Captain Alex's reaction.
Who was that again?
I do not care about promotions at all, so I hardly have any connections within the Knight's Order.
I occasionally meet captains during reports, the 3 receptionists, and my direct superior, Director Simmons. That is about it.
To be honest, I barely even remember the name of the commander of the Knight's Order.
But if even I know the name, then it must be one of 2 extremes, either a highly promising talent or a complete failure.
Maybe it is the latter, and there is talk of transferring that person to the Lost Property Management Office.
Though, if someone were truly incompetent enough to be sent to our office, I feel like I would have already heard about it.
Well, I will find out eventually.
There is no point worrying about it. It is almost quitting time anyway.
I will report to the director and start preparing to head home. Episode 4, Interlude, The Knight Commander's Worry. Alex, captain of the 5th Unit, visited the office of the Knight Commander. Officially, the meeting was to discuss the upcoming mission to escort the foreign minister. However, in truth, Alex had been assigned another important task.
Excuse me?
You are here. Sit down.
The man who received Alex was Gordon Eisenberg, the Knight Commander who leads the Knights Order of the Lindley Kingdom.
Let us begin. I will hear your report.
Yes, sir.
Alex straightened his back and began to speak with a tense expression.
Regarding Reiji Springriver, whom you asked me to investigate. He knows nothing about Milady. I mean, Ernesta Eisenberg.
He knows nothing?
A twitch ran through Gordon's brow.
Then why does my daughter wish so strongly to meet Reiji Springriver? I am so concerned that I cannot even sleep at night.
That is right. He dotes excessively on his daughter Ernesta, because she had repeatedly said over the past few days that she wanted to meet a knight named Reiji Springriver. Gordon assigned Alex, who had just requested a recovery mission, to investigate Reiji's conduct and background. However, hearing the shocking report that Reiji Springriver does not know Ernesta Eisenberg, Gordon was deeply shaken. The investigation results only deepened the mystery. Moreover, Alex had another point of contact with Reiji.
Alex, you served as an examiner when Reiji Springriver took the entrance examination for the order, did you not?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Taking that into account, tell me your evaluation of him within the order.
Having regained his composure, Gordon asked in his usual authoritative tone. In response, Alex cleared his throat before continuing.
First, his work is swift and meticulous. I have never heard any bad rumors about him. I believe the other captains would share a similar evaluation. However,
What is it? Is there some issue?
from observing his one-on-one practical exam during the entrance test, I felt that he was not fighting seriously.
Oh? If I recall, the year he took the exam was said to be a bumper year, with many promising young candidates.
Yes, most were graduates of the Royal Academy, and in a typical year, many of them would have ranked at the very top of their class.
And you are saying that Reiji Springriver held back while fighting such opponents?
Gordon questioned Alex's statement. But Alex, who had personally witnessed Reiji's performance, could only describe it that way.
Yes, it was almost as if his goal from the beginning was to join the Lost Property Management Office.
Surely not. Who would willingly choose such a place?
I thought the same at first, but perhaps he has some deeper reason.
For a man like you to speak so highly of him, very well. We shall observe him a while longer. And one more thing.
Alex thought the discussion had ended, but Gordon still had a concern.
Just to be certain, Reiji Springriver is not privately involved with the woman at the reception desk, is he?
Though Gordon deliberately avoided saying her name, Alex immediately understood whom he meant.
Since Reiji's duties in Lost Property Management are conveyed through reception, they likely see each other almost every day. However, as for their private relationship...
I see. Then I will take measures regarding her myself.
Startled by those words, Alex could not help but ask,
Commander, do you believe that Reiji and she are in an intimate relationship?
This is merely a precaution. As long as we do not know what intentions my daughter, Ernesta, has in attempting to approach Reiji Springriver, it is best to thoroughly investigate his background.
Thus, without Reiji knowing, he became a knight under the close scrutiny of a commander who dotes on his daughter, and a full background investigation into him was set in motion. Episode 5, Ernesta Eisenberg. As usual, I went to the reception desk first thing in the morning to carry out my duties as the lost property officer. I casually asked Sandra whether there were any new requests, but something felt off.
Tode, there is nothing in particular.
How should I put it? She seemed unusually restless. The other two receptionists were also glancing at me repeatedly, as if they wanted to say something. As that strange atmosphere hung in the air, I was about to speak to the three of them, when the door opened and someone entered the room.
You are Reiji Springriver, correct?
A beautiful young woman called my name while looking straight at me. She seemed vaguely familiar. Then Sandra, with a surprised expression, muttered quietly enough that only I could hear.
Mr. Eisenberg.
Ernesta? That was the name Captain Alex mentioned yesterday. So this is her. But why is she looking for me? Judging from her appearance, she seems to be a young knight in her first or second year. There should be no connection between us. My gaze dropped to her chest, where I saw a medal depicting a hawk gripping the hilt of a sword in its talons. If I remember correctly, that medal is awarded only to those who achieve the top score in the entrance examination. In other words, proof that she is one of the promising young talents. This only deepens the mystery. Why would someone that exceptional come looking for someone like me?
This is the first time we have met face to face, right?
Yes, this is the first time we have spoken directly.
Right. Then how do you know about me?
I wish to learn about your hidden true strength.
Your true strength?
What is she talking about? I am just the lost property officer. There is no hidden strength to speak of. The other two receptionists immediately reacted as well.
Maybe you have the wrong person? He does not have the kind of ability that would draw your attention. Even his entrance exam results were...
That is only the official story.
She said it firmly. But I truly have no idea what she means.
As they said, this is my 5th year in the Order, and I have never properly participated in monster subjugation. I am just a general duties worker. I live in a different world from someone like you who is expected to achieve great things.
I find that very hard to believe. Do you remember this?
With that, she took hold of the pendant she was wearing and held it out toward me.
That is...
I do remember that. It was about a month ago. When I went to recover items that the first unit had left behind on the battlefield, I happened to find it near the entrance of a certain cave and brought it back. I never imagined it belonged to her. But what does that prove?
This pendant was something I dropped near that battlefield, inside the lair of a subterranean dragon.
A subterranean dragon? Now that she mentions it, when I tried to pick up the pendant, a huge lizard came out from deeper inside the cave and nearly ate me.
Wait.
That was a subterranean dragon?
Episode 6, Reiji's Strength.
Although we were caught off guard, that subterranean dragon forced even our first unit to retreat. When we later reorganized the unit and returned to challenge it again, the dragon had already been slain. What? You do not mean? Reiji defeated the subterranean dragon?
The three receptionists began murmuring in agitation. This is bad. I knew it was large for a lizard, but I never imagined it was strong enough to trouble the first unit.
If this pendant was dropped in the lair of a territorial subterranean dragon, and you have it now, that means you entered its territory and struck down the dragon when it attacked you, and you did so alone. No, that is...
Just as I desperately tried to deflect the accusation, a savior appeared.
Oh, there you are, Reiji.
The one who showed up at the reception desk was Leroy, my senior by 1 year.
When I went to the Lost Property Management office, they said you were here, so I came looking. Did something happen? No, nothing at all. More importantly, what do you need? Right, that. We just received word that the 3rd unit, which went to subjugate a wyvern, has failed the operation and begun retreating. The 3rd unit?
While not as renowned as the 1st unit to which Ernesta Eisenberg belongs, the 3rd unit is still composed of capable knights. For them to be forced into retreat, a wyvern is certainly troublesome, but it feels like there is more to it than that.
It seems Captain Global and one other knight were seriously injured and transported to the clinic. Captain Global, who is considered one of the top tacticians in the Order?
It appears Ernesta knows this Captain Global. Well, as a member of the 1st unit, that would be natural.
The location is the Shelver Plains. I have marked the precise position on this map. Thank you. I will depart at once. I am counting on you.
Having received the request directly from my senior Leroy, I immediately moved to prepare the wagon for departure to the Shelver Plains, or at least, that was the plan.
Well then, shall we go?
Uh-huh.
Huh? Ernesta looked at me with complete bewilderment. Do not tell me. You intend to come along? Yes.
She answered instantly. No, that is not a good idea.
You are in the 1st unit, right? And you have the Foreign Minister escort mission. That has been postponed for the time being. And do not worry, I have properly reported to my captain that I would be visiting you. That is not what concerns me. Wait, postponed? Why? It was said to be due to personal circumstances.
What is that supposed to mean? Honestly, it would be far more efficient if I went alone. But she seems the stubborn type who will insist on coming no matter what. Well, her combat ability does not appear to be an issue, so perhaps it is fine.
If you insist that much, you may accompany me. But I will say this clearly, it will be boring. That is not a problem. There may be clues to the secret of your strength.
I keep telling her I am not strong. For now, I should inform Sandra and the others about the mission, then stop by the management office before heading out. Episode 7, The Bottom-Tier Workplace. I ended up beginning my lost property duties together with Ernesta Eisenberg, the rising star of the Knight's Order.
So, what do we do first?
Ernesta asked, her eyes sparkling. So bright. She looks full of expectation, but honestly, this job is painfully dull for someone skilled enough to be assigned to the 1st unit. Well, once she sees reality, she will probably calm down. First, I need to report to the management office.
The management office? Where is that?
That building right in front of us.
That is a where. I mean, I see.
She was about to say warehouse. Not that I blame her. I thought the same thing at first. I brought the still slightly flustered Ernesta inside the office. I am used to how cramped it is, but for someone like Ernesta, who is advancing along the elite path, she looked around restlessly as if to say, "This is really the workplace?" Then a loud clatter echoed through the room and Ernesta stiffened.
That will not do. I was sleeping like a rock.
The one who sat up and said that was Director Simmons of the Lost Property Management Department. Good morning, Director.
Oh, Reiji. Even if this is a slow department, using it as a meeting place for a romantic rendezvous would be inappropriate. Would it not?
That is not what this is.
He is as absent-minded as ever.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ernesta Eisenberg.
Eisenberg? Could you be related to the Knight Commander?
I am his daughter.
What?
Seriously? Now that she says it, that was the Knight Commander's name.
Did you only just realize that?
Yes. It cannot be helped. Reiji has no interest in promotion and already lives as though he is enjoying retirement.
No interest in promotion.
Ernesta asked as if that were unbelievable, but the director is correct. I have no desire to work in the kind of exploitative environment I endured in my previous life. At the same time, I do not want the mental strain of fearing bankruptcy in an unstable job. This lost property management office, which offers stability and is free from transfers and overtime, is exactly my ideal workplace.
So, you did not bring the Knight Commander's daughter here just to introduce her to me, did you?
Right, that. We received an urgent request from the 3rd Unit. We are heading to the Shelver Plains.
Understood. Be careful.
After saying only that, Director Simmons collapsed forward onto his desk and immediately began snoring.
Did he just die?
He is just sleeping. Now, let us prepare. If you are coming along, you will be helping.
Yes!
Even after witnessing this bottom-tier workplace firsthand, Ernesta's eyes continued to shine. This girl may be dangerous in more ways than one.